Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and it is a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? Y'all already know what time it is. We just celebrated the 1 year anniversary of Who's That Cosplayer, and yo, we're going into year 2, and joining me on today's episode of Who's That Cosplayer is somebody that, I saw them on Instagram because one of our former guests, Gnome.cos, they had shared them in their story, and I was just like, yo, it's Mr. Robert E.O. Speedwagon. And Gnome, they cosplay as Robert E.O. Speedwagon. And Speedwagon, he's the best Joe Bro in some people's opinion. In my opinion, it's Caesar. I was sad when he passed away, unfortunately. But joining me today is Jannathan Cosplays. How you doing today, Jannathan?
Hello, everybody. I am doing very well, thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for joining me up here, man. I really appreciate you joining me. Awesome cosplay. I love the hat. And, I am going to say that I think it's messed up that you just took the hat off of a dead man's body. And, I don't get that. I guess it's the same as when Lando Calrissian he was wearing Han Solo's outfit when he was on the Millennium Falcon. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I guess we're just going to wear people's clothes now. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course. I'd be glad to answer any questions and talk about cool stuff today, for sure.
Hey, I love that. So before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this interview. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, I got chills, and that's why I had stuttered. And I don't know, man. Maybe Dio's around, and the menacing just went up in the air. It's just in the corner right now and whatnot. And I was like, ooh. But so the first thing that I always do on Who's That Cosplayer, first question, every hero or villain, they have an origin story. So tell everybody who JanNan Cosplays is.
Well, from the very beginning, I feel like most people start here is where they, they do Halloween costumes for the first time. And, when your mom buys you like a store-bought cosplay, it's like, yay, cool, great. And then from then on, maybe in elementary school, I had watched all 3 Indiana Jones movies that were out. And nice. I was like, yo, this man is so cool. I have to be like him. So the following Halloween, I put together all the pieces that I thought I had to make it without buying anything. I just had it all in my closet. And then the only thing that I had to buy was like a safari hat. And it wasn't the exact hat or whatever. I had my dad make me a whip out of like some random twine. It was super duper thick. Oh, it was amazing. And from then on, I felt like I like making my own cosplays. Hence now I don't make my cosplays as often. But yeah, that's kind of where it started. From there, from elementary school, I kept doing Halloween, always all out as much as I could. And then into high school. And then right after high school is when I think my cosplay stuff really kicked off. And I had more free time, so I cosplayed more often. And then just recently, maybe last year, I ran into a photographer who makes my cosplays look even better. So from then on, it just kind of skyrocketed from there. And from now on, I can't believe the following that I've gotten all of a sudden. I started my cosplay account maybe less than a year ago, and people are so receptive to Speedwagon. I thought I was the only one who just liked Speedwagon. I thought people would call me a weirdo, but it seems like people like Speedwagon more than I thought. So I'm really happy that that's how it is.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome origin story. And, I always hear that from all of my guests is that, they started their cosplay journey with Halloween. And it's like I always say, Halloween is like that gateway into cosplaying because everybody does it. And then, people, of course, they grow out of, wearing costumes for Halloween and whatnot. Or some people, they keep on, going to parties or trick-or-treating and whatnot. But I feel like for us cosplayers, it's just like, man, it's just like, I can do better. And like how you were saying, you were going all out every year. And I love the fact that, you went with Indiana Jones as your first costume / cosplay. Like those movies were awesome growing up. And, one of the things that I wanted to touch on, because you mentioned Indiana Jones, I take it that you are a huge 80s and 90s nerd. And I say that because of your Marty McFly cosplay. Like I really love it. Like Back to the Future was probably my favorite 80s movie, especially the second one. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter like what I'm doing. If Back to the Future is on TV, I just stop what I'm doing and I watch it. Now, how long did you do the Marty McFly cosplay in your cosplay career?
Actually, it's probably one of the longest lasting ones. It started maybe second year of high school, and I still use it. So I think my very first post that I have on my Instagram is my Phantom of the Opera cosplay. That
Mm-hmm.
actually came after the Marty McFly cosplay. So yeah, that one is actually the oldest, most put together cosplay that I have. So it's been in my running book for maybe six, no, four, five, six, 7-ish years, 6-ish years. It's a
Nice,
long time.
nice. That's awesome. So, of course, I got to ask you, which one is your favorite? One, two, or three?
Of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Okay, hear me out. Everyone's gonna hate me, but I love three.
I knew you were going to say three. As soon as you said everybody's going
Ah,
to hate you.
everyone's gonna hate me.
Oh my God. No, go ahead. Yeah, I gotta hear this. I gotta hear this because, like you said, everybody's gonna hate you, and a lot of people do not like Back to the Future 3. I mean, I like it, but I feel like it's the weakest one in this trilogy. But go ahead. Like, why is that one your favorite?
Plot wise, it is the weakest of the three, and I agree. It's one of the same reasons why I like part one of JoJo. Everyone doesn't like it because it's like, it's just a knockoff of the North Star. But I
Yeah.
have like this thing for like underrated like media. I guess Speedwagon is included in there, but like, I don't know what it is about part three. Maybe the costuming, the whole like dumb gadgetry that like they try to incorporate into like the old Wild West. It really like it enamored me. And then of course like Doc having a love interest. That's super cool in my
Yeah.
opinion. So just a
No,
couple of small things. The plot obviously is like, eh.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but I agree with you with everything that you said. I mean, like Doc having a love interest because in the first two, he was just a doctor. The only thing that mattered to him was science. And then in part three, we see he falls in love. I guess the Wild Wild West, it does that stuff to you. Now, did you ever play the Back to the Future Telltale game that came out? I want to say it was like 2012, 2013, and it was kind of like a sequel to the series. And in my opinion, like it was Back to the Future 4, in my opinion. But did you
Oh
ever play that
really?
game?
I heard about it and I saw clips on it, but was it really like a Back to the Future 4, like solid enough?
Yeah, yeah, man.
Oh
It's
wow.
it's like if you ever played the Ghostbusters game, and that's one of the things that I love about technology and like how far we've come in gaming, because it's just like you can make a really good game, and then if it's really good and it has like all of the references and then all of the actors return to reprise their roles and whatnot, then I would consider it a part four, unless they, some of the actors don't want to come back. I know man, I can't remember his name. And it's Marty McFly.
What's his name?
I know. I'm having a brain
Oh
fart.
no, what's his name?
God. Let's see.
Michael J.
Now
Fox.
everybody's gonna hate us.
Michael J.
Michael J.
Fox.
Fox. Yes, thank you. Yeah, he didn't return for the game, but he did return in like the final episode, and he voiced. It was somebody's grandfather or something like that, but it was somebody in Marty's family. I think he voiced his Marty's grandfather. But I mean, anyways, the game was really good. I enjoyed it. It was 5 episodes, and I'm pretty sure you can get it for like what, $5-10 now. But I highly recommend it, especially if you love Back to the Future and Indiana Jones. They're about to come out with a new movie for that as well.
I
I watched
saw, yeah.
I watched the Crystal Skull. It was okay, but I'm looking forward to this. I wonder if Shia LaBeouf is going to be in it. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't know. I'm giving it my chances because I love Indiana Jones so much. I did hear something about that it's gonna be what's it called? They're gonna CG his face a little bit, so I'm kind of concerned, but it's okay. It's Indiana Jones. I'll give it my benefit of the doubt.
No, I feel it's kind of like when they CGI'd Samuel L. Jackson's face to make him younger in the Captain Marvel movies. I mean, hey, if they can do it, and the actors can still do their thing, and then they use the stunt doubles during certain sequences and whatnot, then by all means, as long as we can keep on getting them, because Like I love Harrison Ford. I love him in Indiana Jones. I love him in Star Wars. I was about to say I love him in Back to the Future, and it's just like he won't even in Back to the Future. But you know, to piggyback off of something that you had said about Phantom Blood, because it's like I usually like to, you know, wait till we get towards the end to talk about JoJo stuff. But you know, since you brought it up, we're gonna go ahead and talk about it. I love Phantom Blood.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
in my opinion, I love Dio and Phantom Blood more than Dio and Part 3. And I've said this plenty of times whenever I interview a JoJo cosplayer that I feel like the reason why Dio was hidden so much in Part 3 because it's like they were trying to introduce, you know, the series because it was the most popular series at the time, and it still is. Stardust Crusaders is one of the most popular, and I guess because a lot of people didn't watch Part 1 or they thought that Part 1 was the weakest, you know, Araki was just like, "Hey, we're just gonna have Dio in the shadows. It's a mystery, you know." But I love Part 1. I love Phantom Blood. I love the dialogue. It's cheesy, you know, Speedwagon being a cheerleader on the side and whatnot. It's cool. And now I want to ask you. I mean, I see that you know you're cosplaying as Robert E.O. Speedwagon, but is Phantom Blood, is that your favorite JoJo part, or do you have another part that's your favorite?
1 and 2 rival is my favorite actually because Joseph is actually my favorite JoJo.
Okay.
Joseph from Part 2, Joseph from Part 3. Joseph is like probably, yeah, probably one of the smartest of the JoJos actually.
Yeah.
They kind of just made him kind of dumb in Part 3 to like
Yeah.
add as a comedic relief. But he's still, Joseph is still, you know. Um, but I want to say something about how like the Dio in Part 1, in order for Dio to be as menacing as he was in 3 and then in consecutive other, you know, reiterations of Dio,
Yeah.
Part 1 needed to be the foundation for that. You know, he needed to be an asshole from the very beginning, and you
Yeah.
need to see that really, really hard in Part 1 in order for you to understand why it's such a pain in the ass in Part 3. So
Yeah.
that's my logic of why Dio is so well written in the first one.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. You know, my co-hosts Trav and Rebellious D, they're not JoJo fans, and it's like I told them to watch Part 1 because we had did a JoJo episode where we had one of our friends of the podcast, B Highland, join us, and you can check out those episodes too. Like they're on our podcast, they're up on YouTube, and Trav was just like, Dio is like one of the worst villains of all times, but he was saying it as like he was just a bad villain. Like I don't understand why people like him. I was just like, yeah, you're crazy, man. I was just like, this man hopped out the carriage, and first thing he did, he kicked Danny, and then he killed Danny. Like it's just like you don't kill somebody's dog. And
I know, man.
everything that he did, like the Kono Dio and Kissing Arena, it's like he's in my top 10 when it comes to top 10 villains of all time, because he's, like you said, he's well written, and it's just like you hate him in Part 1, but then in Part 3 it's just I feel like he's a lot more cooler in Part 3, if that makes any sense, compared to how he was in Part 1, because I didn't hate him as much in Part 3. I mean, yeah, he killed Kakoin, and that was pretty much it. Yeah, that's the only person that he killed. And he almost killed Joseph. And just to piggyback off of what you had said about Joseph, I agree. I do think that he's the smartest JoJo. I mean, in Part 3, yeah, he was definitely the comic relief with everything that he did and said and whatnot. And then, of course, in Part 4, he was an old man now, So, you said that Joseph was your favorite JoJo. So who's your favorite villain?
Actually, they're to the top. It's either Kira from Part 4.
Nice.
We all love Kira because he's not really a villain, right?
He's not.
He's just some guy.
Exactly.
And people are getting in the way of his stuff, and he just happens to have a stand. And then Cars too, from Part 2.
Nice. Those,
yeah.
I really don't hear a lot of people say Cars is their favorite villain. Like I hear Kira, I hear Dio, and that's pretty much it when it comes to JoJo villains. But to hear you say Cars, I feel like that's interesting. And I love the fan theory that they said that the arrow that creates stands, it comes from Cars because he was the perfect life form and whatnot. And I think I love the JoJo fan theories, man. Like there's so many out there, and so I mean, like, of course, some of them are bad, but some of them are really, really good. And because of the good ones, we ended up getting the Purple Haze spinoff with Fugo,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we saw his backstory get animated and whatnot, which wasn't originally in the manga. So I
Yeah.
wanted to take it back to your cosplay stuff, man, and I just want to let you know the costumes that you've done, phenomenal. I love your Jotaro because I'm somewhat of a Jotaro cosplayer myself.
I
You know what I'm
saw,
saying,
I saw. I want to do the white one so bad. It's so cool.
bro? It's my favorite. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like I feel like I always see part three Jotaros, and you really don't see a lot of part four, especially the
Hmm.
one that I have, which is the dolphin one. Like there
Yeah.
are a lot of fans out there that love that outfit, but you really just don't see the white one that much.
Mm.
Um, I'm going to be debuting part six Jotaro soon, so I'm looking forward to that. I mean, that outfit. At first, when I saw it, I was just like, but it
Yeah.
kind of grew on me,
It's
and
purple. It's purple. I
it's
like it because it's
purple.
purple. I know, so cool.
Yeah, so I can't wait to wear that, man. But yeah, the white one, it definitely it speaks out because it's very bright, it's vibrant, it's
Mm-hmm.
colorful, it's not dark, and that's the reason why I love Jotaro in part four a lot more than Jotaro in part three, because I feel like he's more well-rounded in part four compared to
Mm-hmm.
part three. He's just like, we got to kick his ass. Oh, you pissed
Mm-hmm.
me off. Like that's it. But
I know. That's why actually I don't know why people are so obsessed with JoJo from Part 3. He's such like a one-dimensional JoJo.
exactly.
Yeah.
He is. I don't know. I guess it's because of the one-liners and him just kicking people's ass. That's the reason why people like him so
Yeah,
much.
I
But
guess
no,
so.
but yeah, like your Jotaro's awesome. Your Speedwagon's awesome, and I love interviewing JoJo cosplayers because I just feel like the community sometimes it can be toxic, but like how you were saying earlier about your Robert E.O. Speedwagon. I don't know why I always got to say the full name. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to say the whole thing. But it's just like you get so much love, and Speedwagon is such a beloved character. And there's times where I just don't understand why Speedwagon didn't have any offspring or anything. It's just like in later parts, it's always the Speedwagon Foundation, and that's it. Like there's no kids, no siblings, no cousins, no
I
nothing.
know.
I
You know,
know.
I think it's also because like he's like the one and only, and like
Yeah,
his role as a person, I guess, gets replaced by the company, and then the company and the foundation is the one that sets up the stuff for him. I love that actually the most because I kind of base my account off of Speedwagon, if you can't already tell.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I see, I
and
love
and
that.
and in my bio it's like supporting small and big cosplayers just like Speedwagon. So I as like as a cosplayer and like as someone who uses Instagram pretty often, I that's kind of like what I want to aim to be for the community, for the JoJo community, like to get small cosplayers, to get more followers, for people to see cool cosplays that my friends do and all that, and making that safe space so that the JoJo cosplay community or just the JoJo community in general is a little less toxic. So.
Yeah, no,
Mm.
yeah, and I appreciate that, and I really think that that's awesome. That you are pretty much like the real life Speedwagon, because that's what Speedwagon does. Speedwagon, he wants to help the Joestar family, and even though he's no longer with the Joestars in the series, it's just like he still has so much reach and helping the family. It's just like all you gotta do is snap the fingers, and the Speedwagon Foundation will be there. So I want to ask you now, out of all of the cosplays that you've done, which one is your favorite?
Ah, it's so tempting. It's so something to say like one or the other, and just like, oh yeah. And most people assume that it's my Speedwagon cosplay. I love it very much, but this wig is so itchy. I swear, this wig is just I think like an Amazon like 80s rocker hair wig, and I'm like, it works. It works
Yeah,
really really well. But like, I think my favorite one. Hmm, I want to say like I don't want to say my Jotaro one. I don't know. You put me in a tight spot. Let's
this
see.
is what I do. This is
Ah,
what I do.
don't mind me going to look at my phone to see which one I cosplays that I like. I realize this is like a very obvious question that I'm gonna be asked. I did not prepare in the slightest. Uh, okay, In terms of what looks clean, like really clean and well put together and not too much effort, my Loki cosplay has to top that
Mm,
one. Because
okay.
all the pieces were really easy to find, and then I was growing my hair out at the time, and it was just the perfect length, I think.
Nice.
Uh, but like in terms of like comfort, I mean, now I'm just doing it by different categories. Comfort would probably have to be the Marty McFly one because I kind of wear that on a regular. I used to wear it on a regular basis just out, and people be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, are you dressed up as Marty McFly?" I'm like, no, it's just my clothes. But I'm like, you know. And then, kind of after that, maybe like towards the end of my college years, I started wearing more formal clothes regularly, which is hence why I was like so happy with my speedwagon because it's like a suit and a tie.
Yeah.
And if you look at my Leorio
Oreo.
cosplay,
Uh-huh.
and who else wears a suit in my thing? Well, I mean, Loki wears a suit too,
Loki.
yeah. My regular clothes is just suit and tie, so like those are also just as comfortable for me too.
Who's that cosplayer?
RV Cosplays.
I might as well call you Justin Timberlake. Suit and
Ah,
tie.
you know what? Definitely all the time. Ah, it's like I felt more confident. I don't know what it is. You know how in the cosplay community, like a lot of people say that, oh, my cosplay makes me feel confident. It gives me
Yeah.
like self-confidence more than anything else, right? For me, it was cosplay first, and then like suit and tie fashion. And most people don't wear that regularly every day. But it's one of those things that like, oh, I'm glad that I got into cosplay because it helped me become more comfortable in what I want to wear,
Yeah.
even outside of cosplay.
Yeah, no, I think that that's cool. And, to piggyback off of what you were saying about, cosplay, making you more confident. And I guess in a way, it kind of helps, it boosts your self-esteem, boost, your clothing decisions and stuff like how you were saying, like, wearing a suit and tie. I feel like it wasn't cosplay for me, but I agree. Just wearing a button-up shirt, a tie, wearing a hat. I have a top hat as well that I love to wear. Like when I was in New York, it's just like everybody always compliments me on my top hat, but I was wearing like this really bright lime green shirt because I went to go see Beetlejuice on Broadway, and everybody
Ah,
just kept on complimenting my shirt. And it's I feel like in a way, it's a JoJo reference because it's like we're dressing like gentlemen, like Jonathan Joestar, who was the perfect JoJo out of all,
honestly.
But no, I agree. Like I love your Leorio. I agree. I love it. I love that. I love the mindset of I want to dress like this, and it just makes me feel like a better person. I interviewed the third Pharaoh, and you can watch his interview. It is up here on YouTube. And, we just did the thing at Coast Live, and he was
I
cosplaying
saw,
as
yeah.
Doctor. Thank you. Yeah, he was cosplaying as Doctor Strange. And one of the things that the guy on TV was saying was that because of Doctor Strange, it really helped boost his confidence. And I love the fact that because of cosplay, like for me, it was wrestling. Wrestling is what helped boost my confidence once I became a professional wrestler. But I love that with cosplay, it helps boost people's confidence and it helps make them better people. So I give you a pinky for that because, hey, it's cool looking fashionable. And, like Justin Timberlake said, that suit and tie. I mean, that's what it's all about.
You know it.
So when, has he always been one of your favorite MCU villains or just Marvel villains? And if so, like, tell me, how did you feel about the Loki TV series that came out?
So, my favorite like Marvel characters because Marvel's gotten so big lately, and I remember like from like 2013 when the first Hulk movie came out and the whole like long standard procedure.
Yeah,
Um, when I met Loki for the first time, I really liked him, but I didn't realize that I liked him until I believe it was the beginning. You know when he fights Thanos by himself. He tries
yeah,
to fight Thanos by
right.
himself,
Infinity
and
War.
yeah. When that happened, I automatically realized how awesome of a character he was because he is not that powerful, and he decides to do that. And after what happens in the Loki TV series, after I jumped on that, and how it kind of explained what's gonna happen for the rest of the Marvel like universe. I was like, yo, this man is the coolest. I simp for him so hard. He's so sweet and he's so kind despite like the cards that have been dealt to him.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh man, I have to cosplay him. And he was wearing there was a president variant. So am I not gonna wear a suit? You know, I was like, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. So then the tie clip and the button and the horns and it's so good.
No, I agree, man. Like, I thought it was interesting in the Loki show when they told him that it didn't matter, like, you know, what you did. Like, you were always gonna die. You were never gonna win. So it's just like, this is the best option for you. And, you know, it made me sad because it's just like, you think that it's like, okay, I'll do this and maybe I'll win this time, or I'll do this and maybe I'll succeed. But it's just like, he saw his future and it was just empty. It was blank.
I know.
So I want to say for me, when I first started liking Loki, it was probably people. I mean, I don't like the movie. It's probably like my one of my least favorite Marvel movies, but Thor: The Dark World, and when we see Loki in that, and you know, after he loses his mom, and you know, it's just like him and Thor, they team up and whatnot. I was just like, okay, I can start liking Loki now. You know, I just wish that Marvel would just kept him as a bad guy, because it's like I don't really like to like villains, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? It's just like how some people love Dio, and it's just like, well, how do you love Dio? Like, this man is evil. But I mean, hey, that's how some people are. So I want to ask you now, you know, what have been some of your favorite moments from going to conventions over the years?
Can I tell you a secret?
Yes.
I've only been. Yeah, don't tell anybody, because this is gonna go on public TV, but don't tell anybody. I've only been to one convention in my whole life. This is true. I may look like a seasoned cosplayer, but I am not. I have only been to one.
Now everybody knows. Well, you just said don't tell anybody, but everybody's gonna know. It's like no, nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know.
No.
That's all. I mean, okay, well, if you've only been to one con, like, let's talk about it. Like, how was the experience going to that one con? And would you ever go back to a convention now that, you know, the pandemic is it's not coming to an end, but the world is starting to, you know, kind of get back to normal. You know, would you go back to a con if you had the chance to?
So I'm on behind being a cosplayer. I'm actually a pre-med student, so I'm doing a lot of studying right now, and so I plan to apply for med school next year. And so what I plan to do is to hit up as many conventions as I can after my exam, until I can't move anymore, until I'm totally destroyed, because this might be the last couple of times I'll be able to cosplay without, like, you know, anything burdening me. In terms of like school and work and everything. Working is fine, I can do that, but school in particular, you know, it takes a lot out of you.
Oh no,
so,
I totally understand that.
Yeah. So actually, when I first went to, it was actually Anime Expo LA here in California. And it was 2018. Lordy, it was hot, it was a lot of people, the lines were super long, but the one thing I regret was not taking pictures with every single person that I had met. Because how many compliments of, wow, you're the only speedwagon at this entire convention. So many people came up to me to take pictures, but I never realized in the moment that, hey, can you put my phone up there too so you can take pictures with my phone? And so that the one thing I regretted ever since 2018 was, dang, I got almost no pictures at this convention that I was there for like a day. Yeah. So my test is literally June 30th, and then you know what, the following day is June 1st, right? Mm-hmm. That's the first day of Anime Expo LA. So this year, I'm actually going right after my exam to Anime Expo LA. So when I say, do you want to go to con again? Oh yes. And I bought 4-day tickets and I got a hotel. So nice. I'm going to be there.
You're going all out.
I'm going all out.
You're using that speedwagon money. I like that.
Yes, indeed. You know, the one thing that doesn't make me speedwagon is that I'm not rich. I'm broke as hell. So I spent all my money on con stuff. So hopefully I can get more experience out of that. And then there's another convention that's coming up after that in September called Anime Impulse here in
I've
Orange
heard of that
County.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm hoping that I can hit that up too, and I'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it until I can't, until I have to leave, until I have to go somewhere else. And then maybe
yeah.
over there there's going to be cosplay stuff. Who knows? But that's
Yeah,
the
man.
cat plan.
I hope that you enjoy Anime Expo, and Anime Impulse. Like we've interviewed some voice actors that usually are at Anime Impulse. I don't know why I said animal, but from what I've seen, like it looks awesome. And I've heard many of good things about Anime Expo. Like some of my friends have, gone from Virginia all the way to California just to go there. And I heard that it's a fun time. So make sure when you go there, you take dozens of photos. And something that I always do when people want to take photos of me, because it was the same thing. Like I went to the con, it's like I didn't take any photos of myself, but people always want to take photos. So usually I'm like, all right, take a photo of me, then come take a photo with me. And if somebody's with them, I'll hand them my phone, be like, hey, can you take a photo of both of us? It's so that way
Ah.
that you can, just say that you had a good experience. I mean, you have a good experience anyway, but it's just like you want to make sure that you have these photos so that way that you can cherish these moments, especially the JoJo poses and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, man, it's super fun. When I went to NecoCon and I was cosplaying as Midoriya with Deku from My Hero Academia, it's just like, man, anybody that was taking photos of us, I was just like, yo, make sure you get a photo of me. Like I handed them my phone. The only thing that sucks, I mean, at least with Speedwagon, he's not wearing, or you're not wearing gloves or anything like that. With Deku, every time I want to take a
Ah.
photo, I
You can
gotta
take
take the
up your.
gloves off, hand the phone, and all that stuff. This
Oh man.
it's just a hassle. But something you had mentioned earlier about your Marty McFly cosplay. It's just something that you can just throw on, and that's the reason why I love cosplaying as Jotaro so much, because all it is just pants, a shirt, and a jacket, and that's it. I can just throw it on and just go about my day. Whereas with Deku, I gotta put on the jumpsuit, put on the
Yeah, I
knee
know.
pads, put on the
I
elbow
know.
pads. I'm just like, oh god. It's like I do this every time I step into the wrestling ring. I'm not trying to do it cosplaying, but moving along, I wanted to ask you, what are some of your favorite hobbies that you like to do when you're not cosplaying?
Ah, so I notice a lot of cosplayers, particularly within my circles, are all multi-art, like many mediums of art.
Hmm.
And primarily before cosplay, I was a musician, and I still am a musician.
Nice.
So I am a drummer, and I don't want to say like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm the leader of a band here in my hometown, and we got we got horns and strings, a full rhythm section, and we get guest vocalists to come sing with us. I've made like concerts in our park near my house and other
Nice.
things. Yeah, so music is my other love, and then just like I guess the suit and tie fashion is my other hobby because my cosplay photographer also does like fashion shoots in general too. So maybe ever since last year or 2 years ago, I've had like a winter shoot and a summer shoot and a spring shoot. I haven't had a fall shoot, but
You got to
yeah,
do it. You got
I
to do
know
it
I gotta
all.
do it.
You got to do it.
Yeah, so I've been wearing suits and ties and things. It's not like a hobby that like I want to sell. It's just for myself and like to have nice photos. But yeah, those are my two big hobbies, I think.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So, would you say that modeling is in your future?
Oh, if someone could find my pictures and give me a chance to model, I'd do the heck out of that.
Hey, you never
Ah,
know.
man, it
Hey,
would be the day.
you got to contact the real speed wagons, and then
Spread my information, please. Please, please, please.
I
Ah.
love that, man. I love that. So, I want to ask you now, if there was one anime or manga that you could recommend to anybody that's just getting into anime, what would that be?
Mm. Okay, so definitely not JoJo because everyone thinks that oh yeah, you're a JoJo cosplayer. You love JoJo so much you tell everyone to watch it. I'm like, actually don't. I would recommend you watch it if you've already watched enough anime, then you kind of like get used to the whole like shonen tropes and shoujo tropes and other tropes that you need to know. One of the first, actually, if I'm going based off my anime like tier list, uh, you need to watch Violet Evergarden. Actually,
Ooh,
Ah,
yes.
a mixture of wonderful plot, wonderful art, wonderful storyline, and the damn soundtrack is beautiful.
Yeah, the
So,
music is fire.
oh,
Yes.
so for anyone who's just starting anime, if you're looking for a masterpiece to start with, that is one of them.
Yeah. Hey, I 100% agree with you on that. We actually did a review for Violet Evergarden, and it is here on YouTube. You can check it out before you watch the anime, and it's a short video, so check that out. And then after that, the anime is on Netflix. They have 2 specials that are on Netflix as well, and then the movie is on Netflix as well too. And it's
Hmm.
really good. Now, somebody like me, like I love action, I love adventure, so my co-host Rebellious D, he recommended it to me, and I was watching it, and at first I was just like, it's okay, but it's just like when you continue to watch it, and then you see the plot and the stories, and since we're here, which episode was your favorite?
Oh,
Because I feel like
jeez.
every episode they had their sad moments up there, man.
That's the thing I love so much about Violet Evergarden is that it turns almost any person who's watching it from being like a stone cold, like, oh, I don't have emotions, I don't care, to
Hmm.
like, oh my gosh, I have a heart and a soul. So, like, I think what struck me really hard is that, the umbrella episode?
Yeah,
Yeah, that one. The dad made me cry, and I was like, no, I can't. And then, so from then on, I was like, I gotta. I hope that like the progression of like Violet's like search for whatever she's looking for, right? I'm not gonna spoil too much,
yeah,
but
don't spoil it.
the,
Yeah,
whatever she's looking for, I hope that she like learns and grows and stuff. But to everyone who's watching this, I won't spoil it, but the last movie disappointed me. So
oh,
if
I
you
haven't
really,
watched it yet.
okay. If if you don't want to be slightly disappointed, don't watch it. Or watch it and you'll be disappointed. But if you like Violet the way she is, if you don't like Violet the way she is and you want them to have closure, then you watch the last movie.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's on my list of things to watch, but it's like we watch so much stuff that I haven't had a chance to watch it. But I will
Mm.
say that for me, my favorite episode, without giving spoilers away, is the one where Violet is writing the letters for um, the lady's daughter. Like that's my
Oh
favorite.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
sad.
that
Oh
was
my god.
so sad.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And,
Oh man.
and it's crazy. I love because there's this movie called I'm mad I'm gonna butcher it. It's Cooch Cooch. Hold on real quick. Like Cooch Cooch Hoda High, and it's a Bollywood film. And
Oh.
when we had interviewed our guest Anjali, they had recommended this movie to me, and you can watch Anjali's episode. It is up here on YouTube, or you can listen to the podcast. I stay plugging stuff.
Keep
But
doing it.
but at the start of the film, it was pretty much similar to the episode of Violet Evergarden, and I was just like, this is a Violet Evergarden reference. I was just like, no, this movie came out in 1999, so Violet
Violet
Evergarden
Evergarden.
is a cooch. But yeah, I agree. Highly recommend Violet Evergarden. And my final question for you is, what anime character would you say is the most overrated anime character of all time?
Ooh. Overrated? Of all time? Jeez.
All time.
See, my initial thoughts go straight to like Luffy and
Mm.
Goku. But the
Yeah,
thing is, they have substance to them. Goku is a lot of people say Goku's a very one note person, and I haven't watched that much Dragon Ball, but I know that he has a lot more stuff to him. So
yeah,
I'm okay with that. And with Luffy too. The series is still going on, the dillion episodes. I'm sure he has more substance than what people say.
yeah.
So then that's if I'm really going off of like everything I've watched, probably part 3 Jotaro, honestly.
Mm.
Because he's the face of the JoJo,
Yeah,
community, right? And I'm
yeah,
like, where is the merchandise or like media of the rest of the JoJos?
yeah,
None. Literally just Jotaro. And
yeah,
yeah, if you're gonna say someone's overrated, it's Jotaro part. As much as I cosplayed him because it was easy for me to cosplay him, and it was fun to do JoJo makeup,
yeah.
he is one of the most overrated characters of all time, I think.
That's great. I mean, because when I first watched Stardust Crusaders, I compared it. I said it was the Dragon Ball Z of JoJo. just because of like everything that was going on, like all of the fights and whatnot. And I agree. It's just like, you know, Jotaro, he's the most popular JoJo. You know, I mean, it's like a lot of people don't like Jannathan, even though I love Jannathan. You know, people, they love Joseph because in part 2, like he had so many ass pulls where he should have died and he just survived. But a lot of people, they don't talk about Josuke. A lot of people, they don't talk about Giorno. And then of course, you know, Jolene, she's the newest one, but a lot of people don't talk about her. And then of course, if you don't read the manga, you don't even know about, you know, I mean, you know who Josuke Part 8 is, and then you know who Johnny Joestar is, but you really don't know anything about them unless you've read the manga. You're just one of those anime only watchers. But you know, I agree. I feel like it sucks that the other JoJos don't really get that much shine, but it makes sense because Jotaro, he's the most popular one. It's just like with Dragon Ball Z, Goku is the most popular character up there. It's like fans, they want to see Vegeta, they want to see Gohan, they want to see Trunks, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why when they did the Majin Buu saga that Goku became the main character again. And this is something too that I was talking about when I was doing an interview, how when My Hero Academia and season 5, there was the My Villain Academia arc, right? And Horikoshi, he said that the reason why he cut the arc in half and it wasn't as long as he wanted it to be, because the Japanese audience, they weren't fans of the villain stuff. And I just feel like that it sucks that, you know, they only go off of the opinions of the Japanese fans instead of going off of the opinions of everybody worldwide, because everybody over here in America, like they love the villains. They want to see more villain stuff. And when you just, you know, cut it in half like that, it's just like, you know, I want to see more villain stuff. But anyway, you know, we're here at the end of the interview, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. You were a phenomenal guest, just like Speedwagon himself. So before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
All right, I only have one place, and that is I don't even know my own tag name. This is embarrassing. Wait a second. Haha! Okay, you can find me at JanNan Cosplays. I say JanNan, but my name is JanNan. So if you look up JanNan Cosplays, that's me.
Hey, I love that. I just love the, you know, what was it? Like, hi, I'm Ashley. That's me. I don't know if you watch all that. But that was Amanda Bynes thing, and I used to love that when I was a kid. But yeah, thank you so much for coming up here and joining me. Everybody, make sure that you follow him on his social media. And you already know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks at KingBenji_Banks. On Twitter and Instagram, you can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, everybody, for watching this brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer. Make sure you check out some more of the interviews that we have here on the channel, along with reviews and reaction videos. Our podcast, where we drop new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below, and then the video is up here on YouTube that Friday. So like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.